Welcome, everybody. My name is Samantha. For those that do not know me, I am owner and founder of Wild One Rising, and welcome to our meditation tonight. So, tonight's meditation is going to be on grounding and centering. And this is really, really important, especially right now with all of the energies being a little psycho with Lionsgate Portal coming up here in the next couple days. But grounding and centering in general is really important to us energetically because it helps bring us back to ourselves. And it helps us kind of release all the things we've been carrying for a while and anything that's been kind of making us feel either sluggish or chaotic and all over the place. So, this is going to be recorded and it will be put up on YouTube so you guys can use it at your earliest convenience, or whenever you feel like you need to use this meditation, it will be there and available for you. So I will be flipping the camera and not having the camera on me during the meditation because I have found that it is easier not to focus on somebody's face, but on instead an object or something instead to help you kind of center yourself a little bit more. As humans, we like to move around, we like to jitter and wiggle and make noises. So I'm going to attempt not to show you guys all of the jitters and the moving around and the wiggling, which I'm sure you wouldn't mind, but to help you guys ground and center more, we're going to flip the camera over to our altar that I put together for us. So I have a bowl that I put together. There's some candles going, some beautiful stones, and all sorts of other goodness up here. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in and get started. So go ahead and relax and get comfortable in a position where you're at. If you're in a place where you can shut your eyes, go ahead and do so. If you would prefer to stand or to walk, to sit or to lay down, do whatever you are called to do in this moment. Take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Take one more deep breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth, grounding and centering, coming into awareness of the body. Take one more deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now I want you to visualize it's twilight and you're standing on top of a tall mesa. The mountains are rising up hundreds of feet above the ocean, and behind you is a wide swath of grass, still warm from the day, and a large oak tree stands near, dripping with leaves. In the far distance, you'll see the silhouette of a forest, indistinct and a very long way away. There is a light breeze blowing, and it feels good as it caresses against your skin. As you watch, the first stars begin to shimmer into view. The night is clear, and you notice the last birds fly past, eagerly winging home for the night. You have come to this place to regain your balance with the world around you, to find a center spot of yourself from which you wisely guide your actions and words. You have come here to draw from the power of the earth and from the power of the stars. Take this moment and walk over to the oak and examine it. See all of its gnarled branches, the bulging roots that push their way out of the ground. Notice the long dripping moss that hangs to the ground like an ancient lace veil. Run your fingers over this bark. Examine the cracks and the crevices that bespeak the oak's age. Let your hands sweep over cobwebs and dirt. Let your fingers rest on soft pads, thick moss and lichen. Press your nose to the oak and inhale. Smell the ancient wood, the life that still vibrates within its limbs and branches. Breathe deeply and pull its essence into your lungs. Can you sense its strength, its vitality? Whisper your name to the oak. Now ask the oak what it is called and whether it has a message for you. Listen well for its answer. A noise from an upper branch startles you. It is an owl, watching you with great golden eyes. It drops out of the tree and soundlessly glides past. And as it does, one feather falls from its wing. It drifts down in the breeze to land at your feet.
Sitting here screamed at me about me being a fucking liar.
Oh, what?
I told him I don't want you to get me food because every time you do, I hear about it for a fucking month. You're a fucking liar. I buy food all the time. When? Tell me when. Same with fucking weed. She ain't paid for fucking weed but one.
Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, centering back into the self, coming back to this place with the oak tree. Coming back to this place with the owl. Pick up the feather and examine it. Look carefully at the pattern. Now move a few steps away from the oak. Take off your shoes. If you are wearing any, and plant your feet firmly on the warm soil. From your feet, roots spring and grow, like the roots of the oak. They burrow deep into the soil, pressing down through the dirt and pebbles, burrowing deeper and deeper. Inhale slowly and exhale. As you breathe out, the roots from your feet grow longer, extending like tendrils of a vine, exploring the soil, pressing deeper, deeper through the ground. Down they go through rock and soil, reaching farther, stretching, rooting you solidly as they seek and search. Farther and farther, see them grow, burrowing through cavern and crystal, through rock and stone, down through land that in ages past once stood exposed to the air. These roots, they grow down farther and farther through the crust of the earth, down through the mantle. Farther and farther they stretch until they break through and touch the core of the world, the molten, glowing heart of the earth. When they dip into that glowing magma, the sun bright liquid, they begin to draw energy up from the lava, from the heart of the world, and it climbs through the soil, through the rock and mantle, through cavern and crystal. Energy rises through pebble and dirt, surging up through your roots, peaking, rushing until it pours into your feet like a golden dream. Feel the rush of warmth in your feet, rising through your ankles and calves, rooting you solidly into the strength that is the earth. Now it rises into your thighs, then into your groin, spreading through your abdomen, warm and fluid, strong and vibrant. The energy surges again, flooding your torso, pouring down your arms into your wrists and hands. Your arms raise with the energy, lifting over your head to stretch toward the heavens. The glowing warmth fills your head and pushes up through your crown chakra. You are glowing, golden and vibrant with the strength of the earth. Now look up towards the stars, one brighter than the rest and glowing pale, crystal blue, shimmers in a thin slice of light. A sliver of energy shoots out from the star and races towards the earth. Down it comes as you watch, down through the atmosphere, clear and pure and icy, almost like a lightning bolt. It touches the tips of your fingers. The energy is cold. It is the ancient celestial music that hums between the stars. It is the pure, clear note of a crystal. It is the ice that does not melt, the energy of keen thought, of perfect intent. It traces a path down through your fingertips, down through your wrists into your hands. It enters your crown chakra and floods your mind with clarity and clear purpose. Like a cloud, it billows through your heart and torso, clearing away old hurts and cobwebs chaining you to the past. The clear blue force slices through your legs, through your ankles and feet, and you feel free, aware, and in control. The glowing energy from the earth meets the celestial energy from the stars, and they mix and intertwine, each finding the area of your body and soul that needs it most. They are not alien to one another, but partners, and together they balance your energy. Take a moment and feel this energy. Allow the energy to continue to mix and mingle throughout your body. Now the celestial energy begins to pull out back towards the stars. It rises up, and like an arrow, it is gone. The glowing magma of the earth boils back down through your roots, through soil and pebble and rock and crystal, through cavern and mantle to the core from which it sprang. Take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Feel the balance, both energies left within you. Feel the strength of your roots. They do not weigh you down, but give you security and a foundation in which to face your life. Walk away from the oak, back to the edge of the mesa, looking into the darkening sky, and know that even as the earth is your home, the foundation from which your body sprang, the stars are a source of clear thought and mental awakening. You can tap both earth and sky for balance. Now, as I count from 10 to 1, you will become awake and alert. And the feeling of balance will stay with you as you go about your daily life. 10, 9, you are becoming aware of the world around you. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You will awake clear and refreshed. 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Take one more deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And when you are ready, you may open your eyes and come back to the here and the now. How is everybody feeling?
Much more relaxed.
Good. That is good to hear, my friend. So good to hear. Would you like to share your experience with it?
Well, I thought it was very interesting that you mentioned an owl and a feather because I found an owl feather today.
Ooh,
Yeah, so I was like, that's kind of cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I went to a mystic fair with Amber, and I had a
Mhm.
reading done, and it was kind of like not a spirit guide, but like an animal reading type thing. And she mentioned that I had an owl, like, and it was like a lifelong, like, I guess it was one of my spirit guides, but it was an owl and he was lifelong. So that's really cool.
No, that's awesome. It is so awesome. I'm glad to hear that, my dear. And I'm glad you feel more relaxed. That is
I'm very
definitely,
more, yeah.
that is definitely was the point.
Yeah.
How
I
about
felt
everybody
kind of
else?
everywhere.
Well, I'm glad that you feel a bit more centered, my dear. How's everybody else feeling?
Much better.
Good. Good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
I think that's
I
like
don't think
the
how to use this thing.
Oh, no worries, honey. Zoom can be a little interesting at times and difficult to navigate sometimes.
Yeah. I think that's actually the first meditation I've ever been able to keep my eyes closed the whole time. I'm ADD, so I always want to keep them open. Like I can never keep them closed.
There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of times when I am doing meditations for others, for some, they like to keep their eyes open so they can journal. For others, they like to draw or doodle during it. Some will get up and walk around. I've had people lay down and take naps before. So it's based on what is easiest for you. If keeping your eyes open helps you, then keep your eyes open. If it's easier for you to focus and concentrate on the task at hand and keep your eyes closed, you can do that too. One of the things that I typically suggest to people is finding something that if you can't keep your eyes closed, something you can focus on, like a candle flame or a stone or maybe a point on the wall or a picture or something like that. Even a star, if you happen to be outside, or a blade of grass can work as well. Just finding something to help you focus and help you just be present in a moment and focus on your breathing during a meditation is very helpful. And when doing meditations, when centering and grounding into yourself, a lot of it is bringing that focus into the breath work and paying attention to how your chest rises and falls, how it feels with each breath that you take. It's part of yoga practice as well, pranayama. And we use that to help bring awareness back into the body and help us with bettering our connection with self, connection with our own energy, and with spirit as well. At least that's how I use it. But focusing on the breath, that deep breath in, allowing that diaphragm to pull down, trying not to move the shoulders, but like breathing outward and feeling that life force coming into your body and then releasing. That exhale of the breath is an exhale of letting go of things that no longer serve you. So bringing in life and letting go of things that no longer serve. So it is a cycle. It's a beautiful cycle in the breath work, and it's a wonderful way to ground as well too.
Yeah.
Just don't forget to breathe.
Yeah, no, thankfully I didn't forget to breathe.
Yes, that's good. And there are some people that I have to remind them to breathe, like breathe, because they'll get so relaxed in the state that they'll stop and their brain like just shuts off for a second. I'm like, breathe, breathe, my friend, please breathe for me. And so sometimes that happens, and that's okay. That's okay. That's a very, very relaxed state if you get to that point where you forget to breathe. Okay.
Yeah, when I find it hard to like, if I try to do meditating, I find it easier because I am ADD that I do most of the time have to keep my eyes open. And usually I just, like you said, I pick a lot of times I have a lot of success looking at a candle, which I
Mhm.
don't know why, but like I get totally mesmerized.
It's the movement of the flame. The flame dances, and in its dance, there is the earth base of it from the wick. You have the air moving the fire itself, and then water or some form of liquid was used to create the wax. So you have literally all of those elements popped into a candle. And when you focus your eyes on a candle, for example, focusing on it, you probably, hold on. There we go. Focusing on the candle, watching the flame flicker, watching it move and dance around, it can be very, very entrancing. And the way that the candle moves, the flame itself moves, for some people, it'll bring a message. For others, it's just something for them to help focus on. And when you have something like ADHD or another neurodivergency that helps you, that keeps you from focusing too well, the candle with its constant movements makes your brain focus as it watches and trails and goes back and forth with the candle flame itself.
Yeah, that's what I found is best works is definitely something that keeps my brain moving because like ADHD, I'm ADD, so my brain just doesn't like to focus.
Completely understandable. I've several
It
people
always,
with it.
it takes me like a little bit of time to like shut my brain off. Like I get to thinking about like, oh, did I do this or I got to do this? And then, so I'm like, it takes me a minute to like zone in. I have to like lay with my eyes closed and really try to visual. And once I get into the visual really good, then I like everything else kind of falls away, but it takes me forever to like zone in.
So a little tip with that, don't focus on trying to shut your brain down. If a thought
Okay.
comes through, let it come through, let it pass along. Just don't grab onto it and hold on to it. Just let it pass through. Like, oh, I forgot to do the dishes. Okay, let it go.
Okay.
It popped up, just let it flow through. We get focused too much on trying to stop them and trying to stop our mind, trying to stop our thoughts from being intrusive when honestly, there's no way to stop that. It is best to just allow it to flow, allow it to
Okay.
move through, and then it'll become easier as something pops up to just kind of let it go by.
Okay. I'll have to try that.
Yeah,
Because
instead
like
of
I'll get
trying
to
to go
focusing
through
on
it,
it. And I'm like, no, no, no.
yeah. Our brains and minds are constantly in a state of movement. They're constantly, even when we are asleep, there's something going on in there. And even when we're trying to fall asleep, we are trying to quiet our mind so we can fall asleep. I have found with my own, because I have horrible insomnia some nights, if I notice that I'm focusing a bunch on whatever thoughts are coming through, that's when my insomnia kicks in the most. When I
Mm.
allow them to just kind of flow through, okay, I gotta go do the dishes tomorrow. Oh wait, I need to add that to the list. I'll worry about that later. Now sometimes it won't let me like go past that, so I will pick up my phone, I will write a note to shut it up for that one little thing, and then I'll go on to the next thing. And that's perfectly okay too to do something like that. But try just letting the thought pass through instead of grabbing it and holding on to it and saying, shh, not right now. You know, it's like trying to get a toddler. Our thoughts are like toddlers when it comes to meditation. It's trying to get a toddler to sit still when they're
Mhm.
hyped up on whatever energy that we need to bottle and sell and market, mind you. Um, Good gravy. The amount of energy a toddler has, it's trying to get that toddler to stop vibrating, and they just don't until they pass out. Okay. So it's kind of like our thoughts.
They're
Let
like
it
damn
vibrate for a
babies.
moment and then let it pass.
Cool. Interesting. I'll
Mhm.
try that next time, just letting it go. I always just like, stop.
Eventually it'll run itself out, and that's perfectly okay. Just let it run itself out, let it run its course.
Yep. Like when you
Some
mentioned
people,
the owl, I was like, I found the feather when I was walking to the mailbox. Where did I put the mail? Oh, I need to pay that bill. Like, I was like,
and that's
stop.
okay. That's perfectly okay. We do this to ourselves all the time. We truly we do. Even those that have like an excellent amount of focus still do that. The most well-known guru in the world, the most meditative person you probably know, still has thoughts that come through whenever they are trying to still the mind or still themselves. And what they do is they allow it to just pass through. They're just
I'll have to
passing through. Keep that in
work
mind.
on that.
Mhm.
Passing through.
Yep, it's just passing through. Let it pass through. And if it takes you around this big wheel of whatever crazy shenanigans, then let it. That's fine.
Okay.
Eventually, you'll come back to center and you'll get back to where you were at. Some people find it easier to when they're meditating or taking that stillness and time, whether it's focusing on their breath. They'll either focus on their breath or they'll listen to a guided meditation similar to what we did tonight, or they like to sit in silence as well. So it varies on the person as to what works for them. I know when my mind just will not stop, one of my favorite ways to meditate is to do a walking meditation.
Hmm.
So I will go for a walk, and instead of trying to quiet my mind, what I will do is I will pick out little things along my walk to focus on.
Yeah, you
That's
ready
a
to get
pretty
picked
bird.
back up?
That's a gorgeous flower. Oh, look at that pebble. It's really shiny. Like it's those little things, paying attention to what is on my path. And it kind of helps me ground out, and it helps me come back to
Okay.
my center. So that's another thing that you can do. Another way of meditating is washing dishes. It's something repetitive. When you get into something repetitive and you just kind of like go into auto mode, autopilot with it, that is a form of meditation. Think of it this way. Have you ever been driving someplace? You remember leaving, you don't remember the drive there, but you remember that you got to the place?
Yes, all the time.
Oh, I've done that.
Yes. It's a form of, it's a meditative state, almost, to where you're so used to this repetitiveness in regards to getting from point A to point B that you forget about everything else that happened in between point A and point B, because your brain, your mind found a moment of relaxation during it.
That's crazy. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Learn something
interesting. Yeah. But I've done that too. Like there'll be sometimes like I'm sitting and reading a book and then like I'll get to like, and then I'll realize I'm still reading and then like forget what I've read. And I would have read like maybe 2 chapters.
Mhm.
Like it's
Wow.
completely gone.
I've done that. And I typically, what I end up doing at that point is I go back through and I just reread it. I'm like, oh, wait, okay, now I remember. And then I continue going. So
Yeah.
just
I do
find
that when
things
I
that work for
paint.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a lot of times that's too where I find it. It's like when I'm doing anything like creative with my hands, I can hit it and like I'll just that's about one of the quieter times my mind will shut off.
Saying art in general is very meditative for me.
Yeah. My art creating, or if I'm like making, if I decided I'm like, you know what, I just want to make jewelry, like I'll just get into making it and just completely just go bloop, and then I'm good. Like I'll just not even realize like I've been sitting there for hours and like not even realize it. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
I can get there. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight for our first one. I'll be doing another one on, let me look at my calendar and I'll tell you when the next one is. The next one is on the 20th. And the event for that one is already up on the page. If you guys want to go and check that one out, I'll also share about it as well. But it was such a joy to do this for you guys. So thank you for joining me tonight. And I hope that it brought you some peace tonight and some good grounding.
Yes,
It did. Thank you.
it did. Thank
You're
you.
so welcome, my dear. Have a wonderful night, my loves. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend and a fantastic Lionsgate. Have a great night, everybody.
You
Bye.
too.
Good night.
Bye.
So technically, if I got a shield, I'd be able